Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of So Here's the Thing with your host, Sharon Shea Alexander. Thank you for tuning in today while we take a deep dive into conversations about business growth, personal growth, and things that impact our community. I'm truly excited to have our guest today. Joining me is Councilwoman Katrina Baskin of the City of Miami Gardens. She's been a strong voice in the community, working to support small businesses, strengthen local resources, and create opportunities for growth and sustainability in the city. Councilwoman Baskins, we're honored to have you today. Welcome to the show.
So happy to be here. It was such a pleasure. Let me say first and foremost, it was such a pleasure to meet you. Such a pleasure to know about your history and your journey that you're on. And I'm so happy to see you doing this.
Thank you so much.
So it's really a
that.
pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. And I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, could you start by introducing yourself to our viewers and share a little bit about your journey into public service?
Okay, introduce myself. This is how long of a show? Okay, I won't take up too much time. Well, I am Katrina, born and raised in the beautiful city of Miami Gardens. So my journey into public service was very interesting. This is not anything that I set out to do. I had no aspirations to go into being an elected official, but here I am. I thought I would retire in education, maybe as a principal, maybe as a region director or something like that. But back in 2022, I took ill and I had to take a leave of absence from work.
Okay.
And during that time, it's like God reminded me of all of the things that I had visions or ideas or dreams of doing. And one of them was just being more involved in the community. So I'm a church girl. Okay. My grandfather started New Way Fellowship Baptist Church, Bishop Billy Baskin, right in Miami Gardens. And so being up under my grandfather and my parents, we just had to do things in the community. And they say hindsight is 20/20, right? So now I realize growing up and doing those things, I feel like I was being prepared to do this work today. So it was things like the toy drives and feeding the homeless, looking after the elderly, during Christmas time, going to sing Christmas carols at the nursing homes and things like that. And now I realize, I like this. I like giving back. And it's something that I feel like everybody should be doing. So especially when I talk to the younger residents in our city, just the other day I ran into one and he's 22 years old. He walked up to me. I haven't seen this kid since he was 8.
Oh, wow.
And so he walked up to me. He calls me Miss Katrina. He's like, Miss Katrina, you don't remember me. And I'm looking and he has his full beard. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm Gio, remember? I said, say less, I remember you. So it was so beautiful to hear that he's thriving. He's in college. He has a good job. He has his own apartment. So now my next question to him is, what are you doing in the community? And he's like, nothing. So I started naming some organizations that he could join or things that he could do on his own, because I feel like if each of us do our own little part in the community, it will help our community thrive and do great.
Absolutely.
So I'm a church girl, born and raised in Miami Gardens, and my journey is not a journey that I planned for it to be as it is. But they say that's how God works.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
They always say, you want to see God laugh? Tell him your plan.
Exactly. And he will tell you his.
Absolutely. So you've always had the heart of a servant.
Always had the heart of a servant, even going into public education.
Yes.
I knew that I wanted to help children, but initially I wanted to be an attorney.
Okay.
Right? And I wanted to work on family law and things of that nature. But going into education I don't think my mindset was that of a teacher. I think I had the mindset of like a mom, like a foster mom, like how can I help these kids?
A nurturer.
Exactly, a nurturer,
Yes.
because I grew up in the education world. My grandmother was a teacher. My mom was in education. My aunts and uncles, principals, all of that in education. So it was like I saw that world. And I really didn't want to be a teacher, I thought. I just wanted to be a nurturer and help the kids.
Correct.
But once I got in there, I'm like, oh, wow. My very first year, I'll tell you this, I wasn't an education major. I was a criminal law major.
Okay.
And so I went into the classroom. The school that I was assigned to my very first year, it was under the leadership of the state of Florida because the school wasn't doing so well. So the overseers would come into the school and they would look to see what the teachers are doing, how are the students performing. And my very first year, the state of Florida came in and like, oh, we want to offer you a job. Come work for us. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No. That's not, because really when I went into it, I wasn't planning to be there for long.
Right.
But long story short, I stayed there for 17 years. I left not really planning to leave, but I left once I started my business. As I mentioned earlier, that I took ill, and during that time I was able to build my businesses. So I had the business, I had the vision for the business, but I wasn't able to give it that attention that I wanted to because I'm a hard worker. I tell people all the time, I'm not a talker, I'm a worker. So on my job for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, I had tunnel vision. This is what I'm doing. I want to be great at what I do. If I'm given a task or a project to work on, I'm going to do it diligently and it's going to be the best of the best. So I didn't have time to really work on those projects and businesses and things that I planned to until I took ill.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a purpose in everything.
Yes, it is.
And there's timing for everything.
Yes, it is.
So you taking ill was probably, of course, unfortunate for you, but at the same time, it was fortunate for you.
Oh, yes,
because
it
it
was.
allowed your path to become aligned with exactly where God was taking you.
Absolutely. And I tell people that all the time. It's great to have a plan for yourself. It's great to say, I'm going to go to college and I want to major in X, Y, and Z, and then I want to work this job. I always say, but don't be afraid if you have to pivot.
Correct.
Because a lot of people struggle with that. And I give the example of a friend of mine, his mom. She was a nurse for 30 plus years, but she always wanted to be an attorney. So when she retired as being a nurse, she went to law school and now she's a practicing attorney at 70 years old now. So I'm like, you never really know. Like you do it, but at the same time, be ready to pivot if that ever happens.
I'm the biggest supporter of pivoting. And you have to make yourself marketable too.
Absolutely.
Because then it becomes easier to pivot.
Absolutely. So they say stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. I heard you mention that you have several businesses. So in addition to serving in the public, in the seat that you're in, you're also a business owner.
Yes.
Which is good. It makes you relatable to business owners in the community. And I want to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
From that aspect, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for small businesses in the community right now?
The biggest opportunity, specifically in the city of Miami Gardens, is that it is such a thriving, growing, productive city.
Yes.
We have so many things to offer small business owners in Miami Gardens.
So Councilwoman Baskins, how can businesses and the local government work together more effectively for community growth? What's going on in the city of Miami Gardens right now?
It's funny you mention that because I talk about the power of partnerships all the time. I say local government can't do all the work alone. Businesses can't do the work alone. Nonprofits, schools. It takes a collective effort when you want to see true growth and collaboration, right? So right now we have a 35-acre project going on, which will bring more tourism to our city. It will house hotels, more apartment buildings, entertainment, restaurants, and then parallel to that, we're also planning to build our own performing arts center.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, and it's exciting for me because I'm an artsy girl. I grew up dancing and played the piano a little bit. I can only sing in the shower, but the arts hold a special place in my heart.
Yes.
So last February, I started my Save the Arts initiative because I don't know if you're aware, but there were a lot of budget cuts to the performing arts industry last year, right? And so I wanted to bring awareness to that in our community specifically because I feel like African Americans have contributed so much to the performing arts industry, and how can we not ensure that we're able to continue to do that work in our community.
Correct.
So the show highlighted our local talent. We had an African-American opera singer, young guy, 30-something years old, opera singer. We had a Black-owned dance company, Peter London. His dancers did all the dancing. We had a local poet. We also gave the students in the community an opportunity to perform. We had Northern Senior High School's dancers there.
I love that. Get the kids involved.
Let me tell you, it was it exceeded my expectations, right? Because when I first had the vision, I'm like, we have to bring awareness to this and, provide a platform for everybody to perform and, whatever, encourage these people to continue to do their artsy work because as creatives, and you hear people talk about it all the time, as creatives, sometimes they feel so unappreciated.
Yes.
They feel like they don't have enough platforms to show their work to the community. But that night, I just stood back in awe. Like the people were dressed in their African attire. We had a VIP section going on.
Okay.
And when I tell you they were glued to the stage for the performance, they were glued. So I'm looking forward to it for February 2026. The date is actually Friday, February 27th, 2026.
Awesome.
And it took place at the only HBCU in South Florida, Florida Memorial University.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to Florida Memorial.
Shout out to the Lions.
And that's awesome because the arts have been really overlooked. Like you said, there were budget cuts. Some stuff was taken out of schools. It just made us feel like you said, those of us that are creators, I'm a little bit of a creator myself.
Yeah.
Creatives, you're right, that platform was taken away. So how do we express ourselves?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We have to make sure we still provide that opportunity especially for our upcoming kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I visited one of the schools in Miami Gardens, Northern Elementary, during that time because I was on a mission. I was going around to the schools. I was going around to the nonprofits, finding out what I could do to help either support their program or just to bring awareness or even just encouragement to the kids. Like you might not be able to do it in school. You might not be able to do it after school, but at your own time. If you're an artist, continue to draw. If you're a singer, continue to sing on your own time. You never know who you're going to inspire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And going to Northern Elementary, I remember hearing one of the teachers talk about one of her students. She said he's a struggling reader, very mild-mannered kid. She's like, but something happens to him when he's drawing and coloring. He's like, he turned into a completely different person.
Yes.
And that for me was like, okay, you got to keep doing this.
Yes.
You got to keep encouraging these kids.
Because there's so many kids like him.
Exactly.
So many people like him.
Exactly.
When it comes to the arts, when it comes to creativity, that's where they flourish.
Right. You're absolutely right. And
And
we
that's
have to continue to cultivate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. So you said next year, February 27th?
February 27, 2026.
Okay, and this will be the second annual?
This will be the second annual.
So this is
You're
something...
invited.
Oh, absolutely. I will be there. So here's the thing. Because we've done our research. Of course, inviting you on the show. We did our background check on you and everything. Yes, ma'am. And you know what? I will say this. A lot of the things that you just mentioned that you do in the community, you're not just here saying this by yourself. Your constituents are talking. And they are speaking positively about the work that you're doing in the community. So I just want you to know that you are appreciated.
Oh, wow. That's good to hear.
Yes.
That's
When
really
it comes
good
to politicians, a lot of people don't trust politicians. Business owners are hearing that there's so much opportunity, there's so much out there, but a lot of them are having to face red tape.
Yeah.
They're getting doors closed. They're getting a lot of no's.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a small business owner in the community when it comes to trying to partner with the city?
Keep trying. Keep trying. That's interesting you asked that because so I just celebrated my first year in office.
Okay.
And quite a few of the businesses or organizations that I've partnered with to do certain programs in the city, you'll hear them say, I tried this and I tried that and I tried that. And when they say it to me, I say, well, you tried one more time when you got to me.
Right.
And look what happened. So what I will say is just continue trying. Don't give up. And a lot of times people rely on one source. They think that one person or that one organization or that one bank has to be your only yes. No, you have so many other opportunities around. Don't just rely on this one opportunity.
Right.
You can go here and here. And if you're really diligent, if you're really passionate, if you really care, if you really believe in what you have to offer, you won't give up. Just keep on trying.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like
Keep
that.
on
Resilience.
trying.
That's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you truly believe that you are aligned for this, that this is what you're called to, then you're not going to take no for an answer.
Absolutely.
I tell people all the time, failures are stepping stones to success.
Oh, there you go.
Because when you fail, all it is a take note because this doesn't work.
Yeah, and it makes
So,
us stronger. Yeah, it
absolutely,
makes us
this doesn't
stronger.
work. Okay, so yeah, so let me move on to this. And you continue to try until you find that thing
That
that
thing,
works. And
exactly.
like you said, approach your councilwoman, approach your senator, approach your congressperson, approach, all the people in the community, all of your politicians, until somebody says, we want to hear what you
Yeah,
have to say.
exactly. And also what I'll say is, like you mentioned earlier, make yourself marketable,
Yes.
right? So try to do some things on your own so that when you go to talk to an elected official or you want to try to get a loan at the bank, you can present, okay, this is what I have done already. This is how successful I have been already with
Right.
doing X, Y, and Z. Because what I find is, even for myself, I'm more prone to support someone that is already doing the work. I always encourage small business owners is to structure your business properly.
Yes.
If you know that you want to grow your business and you want to, put yourself out there in the community, maybe you're doing something on a smaller scale and you believe like, okay, this is something great. I want to expand.
Yes.
Now we need more capital, right? We need some more funds.
Absolutely.
So I tell people it's very important to structure your business. When I first started my businesses, I would hear that word, but I didn't pay it any attention because at the time, honestly, I was doing okay in my businesses without it being structured properly. But it's like once you get to the point where you are growing,
Yes.
you have more employees, you're able to do a little moving and shaking because that
Yes.
money is coming in.
Yes.
You're like, okay, no, now I need to do things the right way.
Correct.
And so, like I said, when you're planning to grow your business, you want to do more, you have to structure your business properly. And if you go out to someone that's more business savvy than you are, you say, I need help structuring my business.
Yes.
They're going to know exactly what you're talking about. And they're able to guide you so that you can get the perfect plan, the perfect structure for your business
Absolutely.
and position yourself for some more money.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
there it is. That's the key right there. That more money.
More money.
Sometimes we find it hard to get the initial funding. We take out a retirement, we get personal loans,
Yeah.
as maybe you should because your
Yeah.
business right now has no credit or credibility.
Exactly.
So you definitely need to make sure that you're in a good standing so that you can co-sign, personally guarantee
Exactly.
anything for your business. But once you start making that money, once that revenue starts coming in, how would you encourage a small business owner to properly present themselves or structure themselves financially in order to approach a lender, a grant organization, or
Okay.
any type of funding?
Okay, one thing, and I can speak from my experience now as a council member. So, as I mentioned before, have been encountered with a lot of individuals that have tried to either work with the city before, or they tried to partner with an organization before to help bring their vision to life. And they said everybody told them no, and I always tell them like, but you're here talking to me now.
Right.
So I would just want to encourage them to just not to give up. Number one. Keep on trying, and then make yourself marketable.
Yes.
If you know you have something that you can present to say, okay, this is what I've done already, but now I want to do it on a larger scale, you have to make yourself marketable.
Right.
And present that to the individual so that they can see, okay, this is something I want to invest in. This is something I want to loan them some money for. This is something I believe they'll qualify for this free money, which
Yes.
are our grants,
Yes.
right? But if you have nothing to show, then it's like, okay, people are going to have to take a chance on you, and everybody's not going to be willing to take a chance on
And
you.
there
like
it
that.
is. There it is. Because I tell people all the time, you don't need to make a certain amount of money or get to a certain level to start proper record keeping.
Yeah, I had to
I'm
learn
telling
that.
you can do it on a small scale because
Yeah.
guess what? If you approach me as a lender or an investor and you say, well, listen, I need some capital in order for my business to grow. This is what we do. This is the service that we provide or the product that we sell. And here is a financial picture of what we look like.
Yes.
The fact that you are organized financially,
Yeah, it
not
makes
just
a-
structured properly, registered with the state, which is all important, but that combined with proper financial structure,
Oh yeah,
that's
it makes
impressive.
a big difference.
It absolutely
It
does.
makes the biggest difference.
Yes.
I remember trying to apply for loans once, and I'm like, why do they keep telling me no? They keep telling me no. They keep telling me no. And I linked up with someone who actually helped me to structure my business, and they were able to tell me, okay, you can't do this, you can't put that, you can't. And I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
See?
And soon after, things started rolling the way that I wanted them to roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Because you mentioned twice about partnering up and getting advice from somebody who's actually been doing it a little bit longer than you. Can you speak to that? That whole competition versus
Oh
collaboration,
gosh.
especially in our community. Can you speak to
Yeah.
that?
I can't speak to it. We will speak to it, but I just in our community, I wish we could just get away from that.
Yes.
You know, it is the one thing that is holding us back in our
Yes.
community. Instead of collaborating and partnering with our people, we're trying to, it's like the crabs in the bucket thing. Like, I'm going to crawl over you so I can get to the top.
Yeah.
I've always been, and I didn't realize, they say hindsight is 2020. I didn't realize it when I was doing it. So even as an educator, I would always find ways to work with the local businesses in the community. Whether I was doing something for my kids in the classroom, I remember going to the gas station, asking the manager at the gas station if he wanted to donate hot chips
Okay.
and drinks for the kids, and he said yes. I remember I did a parent workshop for some of my parents for a specific reason, and the gas station owner donated gas gift cards.
Okay,
So
there
it's
you
like
go.
it's collaboration, and if everyone realizes their lane, you know, if somebody came to me asking for financial advice or accounting, I have learned how to do it for myself. Maybe I could help you, but why would I put us in that situation
Right.
when I can refer them to someone like you, who's
An industry expert.
at
Correct.
that? All because they told me they'll pay me $5,000, $10,000 to do it.
See?
And that's what's happening.
Yes.
We want to take all the money for ourselves when that's not our area of expertise. Refer it to someone that knows better than you. So it's all about just knowing your lane, being willing and open-minded to helping other people, right? And I know you can attest to this.
Yes.
Giving back to others,
Yes.
right? And once you do that, you realize that's when all your blessings come in.
Listen, you're
That's
speaking,
when-
you're reading my thoughts right now because
that's when your business grows.
Yes,
Anyway, you don't
yes.
have to fight and compete and whatever with anybody, because what's for you is for you.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, the principle of sowing and reaping is not just a biblical principle, it's a life principle.
It's a life principle.
Karma is real. What goes out comes back. What you sow,
absolutely.
you do reap.
No doubt.
That's just life. So if you're going to sow into supporting someone else's business just because you have a heart for it, do you understand, even especially when you do it just willfully, because of a good heart, you see someone in need and you say, okay, this is how I can help.
Yeah.
No fees, no charges.
Nothing.
I want to see you grow.
Yeah.
It comes right back to you. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Opportunities have come to me from people who were referred by people who have worked with me, who heard about me, all because of what I've done in the community. I heard about you doing financial literacy workshops, which I used to do for free because I get excited when I could tell you, listen, this is how you grow.
Yeah.
This is what you do. Look at what I found out just by working with the city, just by working with the county. This is the information that I got. So we can all thrive.
All thrive.
I get excited
All
about
thrive.
that.
I do too. And you brought up the financial literacy event. That was during, and I say was because I haven't been able to do it since I became an elected official. But running that program, I partnered with Nationwide Youth Outreach and Athletics to run that program. Partnership, hey y'all.
There you go.
Because they had the kids. It was a kids program and a program for adults. So the kids were there. And so we did financial literacy for the kids, teaching them how to save money, what it means to even think about buying stocks, needs versus wants.
Love that.
Like the kids love that. And then we would talk to the parents. Are you a first-time home? Would you like to be a home buyer? Do you need support with your credit?
Yes.
Do you need help with how to save money? And when I tell you, like, to have the kids and the parents learning about financial literacy and hearing the conversations that they had with each other, it was like, wow, this is beautiful. And I believe we gave them the foundation for their future when it came to financial literacy.
I was so excited to hear one young lady where I was facilitating a workshop say to me, my mom and I had this conversation. She said that once I go to college, she wants to purchase some property that I can rent out. By the time I graduate from college, I would have acquired this much. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. Tell your mom I said high five. I love that we're having this conversation now in our community.
Yeah, and my daughter is 20, and my daughter got an American Express card, y'all, at the age of 20. But it's because her mama did some things when she was 16.
Okay.
You know, adding her as an authorized user on my
Yes.
credit cards and, you know, things of that nature. But it's beautiful because I am now doing things in my 40s that my daughter is doing or she has already started doing. And that's how it is, that it should be. My
Right.
parents talk about that, how each generation should get better. You know, I feel like our
Absolutely.
grandparents did the best that they could
Right.
with the knowledge and the funds that they had.
Correct.
Our parents did the best that they could, and now it's up to us to do the best that we can with the extra knowledge and the extra
Yes.
funds
Yes, absolutely.
that we have to be able to help the next generation. And it's happening.
And set
I
them
see
up for
it.
success. I
Exactly.
love this
It's
whole
happening.
generational wealth kick that we're on right now. It's not just a fad. This is really what we should be doing.
Yeah.
It should have been done a long time ago.
Absolutely.
But guess what? We're here now.
We're here
Like
now.
you said,
We're
so
here
let's
now.
get it done.
Exactly.
Let's do that. I love that. Councilwoman, what is your vision for the city's business community in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you see the city of Miami Gardens?
I think I kind of touched on that before, talking about the 35-acre project.
Okay.
And just building more partnerships and more collaboration. The city is growing.
Yes.
We are expanding in many, many ways. I would like Miami Gardens to be known for that economic, just the excitement of Black economics, right?
Yes.
So as far as business ownership, as far as property, real estate ownership, even for our education,
Yes.
right? Now is the time where public education is going through some changes, and I feel that I'm an advocate for public education. However, with things shifting the way that they're shifting, I believe that if we want to ensure that our community knows their history, we're going to have to take some other measures as
Yes.
well. So in that regard too, providing educational opportunities, financial opportunities, taking advantage of the opportunities that are already here right
Yes.
now, which I believe we don't do enough. We kind of go outside of our city,
Yes, we do.
outside of our county to do other things, but it's so much right here for us, and I say right here in Miami Gardens,
Yes.
for us that we can take advantage of. So just for it to continue to be a thriving city, for us to continue to be the mecca of entertainment and the beautiful cultural experience, as you mentioned earlier with Jazz in the Gardens, we have so much fun and excitement to offer.
Yes.
But also not to forget where we've come from. You know, we're only a city that's 20 plus years old, but in comparison to some other cities, we have accomplished quite a bit in these little 20 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Councilwoman,
Yes.
I want to say thank you so much
Oh,
for
you're
coming.
very welcome. Thank you
were
for having
very
me.
inspiring. Thank you. You're welcome. Very
Thank
inspiring. I love the information and the education and the empowerment that you gave to the constituents of the city.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you so much again for accepting our invitation to come.
No problem. And I'll come back again if you like.
Oh, we would love to have you back.
Thank you.
you again for joining us today for this episode of So Here's the Thing with Councilwoman Katrina Baskin of the city of Miami Gardens. See you next time.